Hi there! Have you been convinced that Mexican coffee is only a blend filler? Are you the ones who believe that Mexico doesn't produce coffee at all? If you have been in the country of the great hoggers and real tacos, you have probably been surprised about the richness of each culture and delicious coffee. But that might not be just it. My name is Julian Rivera, and I am here to give you 6 reasons why Mexico is called the sleeping giant of Latin America. According to the ICO, International Coffee Organization, Mexico is the 11th biggest country in the world, with 717,000 hectares of cultivated area, giving life to 500,000 producing families. Just to get a grasp of it, imagine filling El Salvador country 3.2 times full of coffee. It's amazing, right? Well, coffee for Mexico is influenced by 4 volcanic sierras and the winds of the Pacific Ocean and the Gulf of Mexico, making it incredibly diverse. There's coffee to the east, to the west, to the south, and as close to a 1-hour ride from Mexico City. And the most exciting part is that the profiles are hugely different between each state. Picture it like this. Imagine one whole country with 12 producing countries at once. For good or for bad, Mexico's strength has never been the intensive harvesting, except for some parts in Chiapas and Veracruz. The bond created with the nature have made available widespread a very special technique that has made almost all Mexican coffee be shade ground. This makes our coffees very resilient to climate change, responsive to plague treatment, and very respectful for birds, bees, and other animals, and of course, to the mother nature. An astounding 90% of the production of coffee in Mexico is in charge of hands of smallholders with indigenous roots. Just in Oaxaca, 350 ethnic groups survive upon the production of coffee. There's no surprise why this is an amazing and some of the favorite coffees from the roasting industry here and in the world. And every time you drink a specialty coffee from Mexico, you're probably contributing to the survival of languages, cultures, and of course the livelihood of the people who preserve entire ecosystems. With this huge potential, the hundreds of microclimates and a thriving connectivity, the quality of Mexico is on the rise. Ever since 2012, the competition of Cup of Excellence have shown us a 5 times increase of presidential prizes. And it makes sense because the specialty coffee farmers, as long as they are not as big, they can focus and concentrate on carrying the soil and all the refining practices needed to create these extraordinary auction lots. In a personal experience, 10 years ago, I dreamt upon roasting and tasting a 90+ Mexican coffee. I thought I would not live to see that day. But yet, these past months, I have just tasted a dozen of them. It really made me want to cry. Old varieties, new discoveries. Ever since the 90s, a steady rate of crop abandonment have been increasingly at the same rate as the price goes down. And that has made a very curious phenomenon where old varieties have been rediscovered by new farmers, from very old Típicas to the cherished Mara Ojipe. The genetic diversification of Mexico have enriched all the experience of finding new coffee and making it really exciting for coffee hunting. I remember that year when I won the Brewers Cup competition here in Mexico, we chose out of 100 coffees, 3 threes which gave us a very, very small bean under screen 13, which would be usually considered just garbage. But instead, it turned out to be a championship coffee. Last but not least, haven't I ever experienced such a level of awareness and commitment to coffee coming out from farmers than this new generation, but also the oldest one. And while they're not perfect, they are really committed to try new things, most of them along the tendency. But their creativity, when the spark is ignited, they are definitely willing to successfully experiment, commit to care for new varieties, and of course, make a real teamwork. Believe me when I say that you are going to hear so much more from Mexico in the years to come. And fellas, if you really enjoyed this information and you want to receive our brewing techniques and new recipes, please feel free to subscribe to this channel. We will be talking about many topics around coffee, both in Spanish and English. So hey fellas, see you in the next time. Bye.